Okay, so now we have the practicals of a domain system. I am taking a brand new 2012 or 16 machine. It has not been configured for any IP address and nothing. I think it's not a brand new. Yeah, a brand new machine with no password also. Any questions, please ask it. Please ask. If it is related to topics that are not covered, I will cover immediately. Otherwise, I will say this way it will come. So I understand and everybody knows the meaning of a domain. Remember, domain is the work area. Domain controller is the server. It could be physical or virtual. Domain controller, a server, domain, environment, Vatavaran, work area. Okay, a brand new machine, no IP address configured. We need to install a service called Active Directory Domain Services. Throughout the course, the name of the species, the host name of the species will be DC. Throughout the course, the host name of the species will be DC. Okay. So I will not be using any other name. So when I say DC, it means the first domain controller in our organization. Then IP address 1.1. Okay. And installing NTDS services. When installing NTDS service, we will also be installing DNS services. Okay, that's the next step. Remember the prerequisites. Step by step follow. Okay, so server manager will automatically open up. I go to manage. This is hourglass. Okay, wait for the hourglass to go off. Yes, it's gone. Then it will allow me to start this. I choose to install Active Directory Domain Services, AD Domain Services. I will not be installing DNS, which I need to actually. Let's see what happens or what will happen if I do not install DNS. Okay. So I have a server operating system. I have assigned it an IP address. I need to assign an IP address. Throughout this course, the IP address will be 1 dot. What would be the IP address on DNS? Correct. You can either say 192.168.1.1 or you can say 127.27.0.0.1. Now what's the difference? If you ask the domain controller right now who the DNS server is, he will say it is 1.1. God knows who that is. God knows who that is. It is 1.1. It does not know, it is himself. But if I say and ask him right now who the DNS server is, okay, it means myself. Okay? Today, even though you configure this, the Microsoft, the DC promo command will automatically change it to 127.0.1. So it's nothing wrong by doing anything. In the diagram, we are supposed to install NTDS service. It's installed. You need to click on promote the server to domain controller. If this is not available here, I mean, if you have closed the screen off, you can always go here, the exclamation mark in this flag tool signifies that something is pending. If it is pending tool is over, you can click on this, it will show you the option again. Installation is over, yes or no? It says succeeded. So you can exit out. You can exit out. Exit out. Oh, now you can't exit out. Why? This process is not complete. You can go to Task Manager, it will tell you what all is done. You can go here Exclamation now. Right click. You had an option for right click earlier. It is telling you some option is pending. You can click on this to promote this sort of option. But no, I'll use any one which way is available. Click on this. Promote the server to a domain controller. Okay. Then ask me, add a new forest. Let's talk about it. Coming back to theory. We have a server operating system. We have assigned it an IP address 192.168.1.1. Remember, the DNS server is also 101. Yes or no? Okay. This has a database called SAM in the beginning. Are you understanding? Let me show you. Okay. What is the command to open the SAM file? Remember I showed you the command last week when I was running through the basics. So to open a file called SAM file, you open LUSRMGR, or you can go right click on my computer and manage whatever. Okay. User, and I'm creating a user called Kuti. Okay. You call Kuti in the SAM file. This PC has a SAM file right now. Yes or no? I will be running. I have installed NTDS service on this PC. Yes. NTDS is installed. And I will be executing the DC promote tool. As soon as you run DC promote, the SAM database will be disabled, deleted, as well as purged, removed. You cannot access the SAM file once DC promo is complete. DC promo will also give birth to a new file called NTDS.dp. It stands for New Technology Directory Services. Directory information. Actually, that is written there. Okay. Because of the existence of this file, NTDS.dit, okay? NTDS.dit. Because of the existence of this file, this server will henceforth be referred to as a domain controller. Only because of the existence of this file, this PC would henceforth will be referred to as a domain controller. Once you have a domain controller, two more things get created in the background without your permission, without your knowledge. Three more things. One is a domain. One is a tree, and the tree, and one is a forest. These three things get created. We deliberately created a domain controller, yes or no? But a domain, tree, and a forest gets created in the background without your knowledge. This is a physical element, while everything else is logical and imaginary lines. Getting my point, huh? So today you will understand the meaning of a domain and a domain controller. Yes, a tree and forest gets created in the background without your knowledge. You will not be understanding the meaning of tree and forest today. This is the topic for not next week, next to next week we will be covering about tree and forest. Today you need to understand what a domain is and what a domain controller is. But tree and forest gets created in the background. Okay? But just assume that there is something pending. So as soon as you run DC promote here, as soon as you run DC promote, let me do it once again. Here, promote the server to domain. It's asking me, do you have an existing domain? Do you have an existing forest? Nothing. Add a new forest. Domain name is cisco.com is what we have decided. As soon as you choose the domain name cisco.com, what will happen is the domain name would be cisco.com. That would also be the tree name and the forest name. Again, you don't know what a tree is, you don't know what a forest is, you know what a domain is, you know what a controller is. Next, it is hourglass. Hourglass says I am checking whether this name is unique in my network. If the same another domain name exists, they say this is a duplicate name, please use a new domain name. It is telling me I have forgotten to install DNS. Are you sure? It checks it for me. It says, oh, you have forgotten it, but I need DNS. There are big companies. There are more than, I was talking about 80,000 client machines. There are companies having 80,000 servers. Just imagine the number of clients they have. They will have a separate DNS server. So in the MCSE level, I will be teaching you, that MCSE means the third month. I will be teaching you how to separate your DNS server and what is the advantage of separating your DNS server. There is a big advantage, and that comes to designing, that comes to L3, L4 level. Okay? So we need a DNS. We have not talked about global catalog server. We are not talking about RODC. It's all topics to be covered later. DSRM mode password. This is a password for backing up your server. Meaning, you have your domain controller with 80,000 users. It may crash. You take a backup and keep. You take a backup. Due to some reason, some 400 users got deleted. Somebody deleted a group or OU, all the 400 users got deleted. You have to recover them back. When you recover a user, you will take the backup disk and you try to recover the database, yes or no? When you try to recover the database, Active Directory will ask you, wait, what is the DSRM mode password? That time you will require this password. Only then your existing in the forest will allow you to restore your backup. Are you understanding? Yes or no? Isn't this the administrator's password? No! The administrator's password is different. Where is the administrator's password? You know, SAM file. What will happen to SAM file after this? Deleted. So there are some users now right now. I created cookie. There is also administrator in the SAM file. Yes or no? All these users from here, when it sees the SAM database dying, will jump to NTDS.disk. That means what will be the password for administrator? The password that this administrator had in the SAM file would be the password of the administrator in the domain controller. Are you understanding? Yes or no? So this is the DSRM mode password, directory service restore mode. When you restore your Active Directory, that time the Active Directory will say, wait, what's the DSRM mode password? Only then I will allow. That time don't use the administrator's password, use this password. Can we change this password? Yes, we can change this password using another tool called NTDS tool, which I will show you later. Yes or no? Hit next. These are again topics to be covered in MCSE. Again MCSE, NetBIOS. We'll talk more about what is Cisco and the difference in Cisco and .com later. Meaning, by the time you understand all these clicks, your MCSE will be over. It is asking you where do you want to store your NTDS update. This is the default location. They ask you in an interview, where is the default location? This. So why is it asking you where do you want to store the NTDS? Why can't you just store it without asking you? Just telling you, just telling you, do you have a read disk, mirror disk? Place is there. At least NTDS will be picking up. So in this is a classroom environment. We are not talking about read and mirroring on it. Log file. Whenever you create a user in Active Directory, it is not stored directly in NTDS. It is stored in a log file first, then it is stored here. sysvol folder, or the group policy information or scripting that you configure on a domain is stored in sysvol. We'll talk more about this. Everything is done. You hit next. It will check for the prerequisites. It will check for prerequisites. If all the prerequisites are okay, it will proceed. Are you understanding, everybody? Now watch carefully. There are two types of operating system. One is GUI, one is core. What is the difference between GUI and core? Everybody? Yes or no? You have some idea. You are not taking my word. Some idea. Okay? Fine. Now, how to install a service on a core machine? That's MCSE. Core now, okay? How to install a service in a core machine? PowerShell. Right? In a core machine, you don't have GUI. So how will you promote a core machine to accelerating or domain controller? DC promote. But click option is not the promote. You don't have NTDS service. Install Windows feature. NTDS command there. PowerShell. Okay. So how will you promote it? To promote it, you will require a script. Can you see script? This is a GUI machine. You don't need to go here. This is a GUI machine. You don't need to. You can just say next. But if you are planning to promote a core machine to a domain controller in future, save this file and keep it in your database, in your pen drive. In C drive, on your pen drive, save it and keep it, and give it some name, dc.PowerShell script version 1. Keep it in your handy. Otherwise, you will require to go to internet in future to download that script. Or you will require a dummy GUI machine only for creating a script. Keep it handy with you. So this script contains all elements to promote a core machine to a domain controller. Are you understanding? But let's not talk much about this right now. Let's talk about promoting this GUI machine into a domain controller. It is verifying whether the prerequisites for the domain controller are installed. If it is there, all prerequisites check pass successfully, click install to begin installation. Click. All these exclamation marks are topics that will be covered in the later level of course. Okay? Install. Now, what is going to happen is the SAM database is going to be created. And a new file called NTDS.dit will be created. After all this is done, there are many things happening in the background. Okay? All things that will happen in the background, by the last day you will know. In the background, a lot of activities are happening. Okay, right now, as we have talked about NTDS.dit. So you know, in C drive, Windows in NTDS folder, there is going to be a file called NTDS.dit. A folder called sysvol folder is going to be created in Windows folder. Log file is going to be created. That's it. We know theoretically there is a forest, a tree, a domain, and this is the controller. Okay? We know. After everything is done, it will tell you, please restart the machine. It will automatically restart. When you pull the close button, it will automatically restart, or you can click on close, it will restart. Right? Any questions, please ask. If it is related, I will tell you right now. If it is not related, I will tell you. You can click on close, or you can leave it. It will automatically restart. A domain controller is ready. Now let's try to open the SAM file. Again, it is not going to open. Let's see what happened to the user in the SAM file. You will see it in NTDS.dit. Yes or no? This server was running in a workview model. Right now, it is running in a domain model. I have not shown you that. Let's take another GUI machine to demonstrate that, okay? Let's take another GUI machine to demonstrate that. So that will also come in the recording. So this is a normal server operating system. This is a normal server operating system. Okay? This is not our domain controller, okay? This server is running in a work group model. Any operating system by default is running in a, see now, this is not promoted to a domain controller now. If this was promoted to a domain controller, this exclamation mark would not be there. In our case, this exclamation mark will not be there. Why? We have already promoted, and here it will say domain. Okay? Coming back here, this is still starting up. Fine. License? Once you buy a server, all the services inside are free. License only one. But for domain service, it is also free. Once you buy domain service, everything is free. Okay? If you have licenses like client access license, then you have server to client license, all licensing is different. Once you buy a server, all services within are free. Everything is free. Whatever is available in roles are free. It is not on a per module basis. Okay?
And one thing also, whenever you authenticate, so the authentication directly goes to the Active Directory server. So you always have to be connected to Active Directory server.
Yes.
That's
cover, don't worry. Please cover all that, the authentication part. No? That's just one example. Your internet is not working. This is weird, no? This is not. The network is down, no one can authenticate. No one. But neither MCSE is not MCSE. You are only MCSE, no? You have to upgrade to MCSE. No, MCSE is for L1. For L2, L3 is MCSE. And just no book for MCSE. Okay. Don't worry, we'll cover all that. So, today you know the meaning of a domain, advantage of a domain. The main advantage is centralized authentication. Main thing that everything else is a byproduct. When everybody is coming to your home only, from here only you can manage what has to be given to everybody. Administration is centralized. Authorization is centralized. Accounting is also centralized. Okay? So if you ask you in an interview, why domain? Of course, why domain is only asked in L1, L2 level, okay? You're not asking L3. Why domain? You just say centralized AAA services. That's it. If you ask more, then you know what it is, okay? Just thinking what else to be covered in theory. So right now, our domain controller is getting ready. We have this many clients. These are all client machines. One is an XP operating system, one is a Vista operating system, Windows 7, Windows 8. All these are workstation operating systems. You also have server operating systems who are going to be clients. Okay? These are all the server operating systems who are going to be clients in the domain. Okay? Fine. So these client machines have to be added to a domain individually, once. Nothing is automatic. You have to manually go to every client. If there are 80,000 client machines, go to each client, rightly properties, add a domain once in your lifetime. Okay? Whenever you add a workstation PC, what is example of workstation? Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, XP. That would be referred to as a workstation. Whenever you add a server PC into a domain, it would be referred to as a member server. So now what is the difference between a domain controller and a member server? Are you understanding the question? A domain controller has NTDS.dit, while member server has the SAM file itself. Remember one thing, we have not run DC promo anywhere here, so they will have their independent SAM files. But when a user logs in, that query will be forwarded to The domain controller. I will show you how, okay? Yes, it is ready. Domain controller is ready. So the first time I am logging in. I am trying to open the SAM file lusr.mgr.msc like before. It says, sorry, this is a domain controller. So you should understand that I am not there. The computer is a domain controller. Finish. So to open the NTDS.it, NTDS.it is located in Windows NTDS folder, and this is the file called NTDS.it. You cannot open this in Notepad. Out of the question. Of course, you also have log files. We will talk more about EDU files, these are log files, okay? We will talk more about all that later. Today only. But to open this file, you have to use a tool called Active Directory User in computer or Active Directory Administrator Center. What is the difference? Yes, one happens using MS-DOS, one happens using PowerShell. You can also open Active Directory User in computer like this, or you can use DSA.msc. It's a very old command. It is one and the same thing. So now, since I open it twice, two of the windows will open up, okay? Two windows will open up, not one. I am checking to see whether putty has appeared here. Yes. That means the administrator also has come here. That means administrator's password there would be the password here also. Yes or no? I am going to create a new user in Active Directory. Chandru. ABC and what is it? Two users have been created. One created user that was migrated from SAM to Active Directory. One user that has been directly created. There is no difference. Both are the same. So both are users. All these are called objects. These are called attributes, okay? Fine. I am going to an X machine. I am going to an X machine. This X machine is not a part of my domain. Okay, you remember that? Let's remove it, okay? How to remove it? If this is closed now, you can go start. Program, go to command prompt, okay? Program, accessory, command prompt, cpls.msc, okay? I am undoing what I did earlier, okay? So remember control panel and run menu from start, okay? We will talk more about group policy. Don't think group policy is done. The last day of MCSE will have group policy. Okay. So right now, this PC is also running in a work group model. I need to tell this guy to become a part of my domain. Is my domain controller pinging? Yes. Is reachable. And change his name will be XP100 and his domain name should be enter. Okay? Before that, okay. I don't want to miss out any topic. So before that, let me just show you one more thing. So domain controller says, this is the domain controller, okay? That computers, there are no computers in this domain. I am pressing refresh. No computers. Only one domain controller is there. So these are all containers. These are all containers. Only one domain controller is there. No client machine. Okay? I go to my SAM PC by my X machine and tell this guy to add yourself into the domain. Enter. As soon as I press enter, we will try to resolve domain name to IP address. Have we given the preferred DNS? No. That is point number one. Have we installed DNS service? We are not installed manually, but automatically got installed in the background. Have we configured the new zone, power lookup zone, new zone, secure.com, We have not done that, right? But DC promo is a very powerful command. DC promo is a very powerful command. This is the command to open DNS. You can also choose DNS. DC promo is a very powerful command. It has created a domain name plus entry that nobody can understand. You have to open each entry and understand the meaning of this. We always talk about troubleshooting Active Directory. Once you know this, there is no troubleshooting only. You remember this entry here? What name does this resolve? Yes, domain name, cisco.com. Same as parent, isn't it same as parent, no? Parent is this. That means DNS is ready. How does it get ready? DC promo is a very powerful command. Earlier in Windows 2007, all this had to be manually created. Now it's automatic. Now, I go to my XP machine and the XP machine says there is some error message. It says something weird, which we can't understand. You need to understand all this. But you as an administrator say, are you able to ping cisco.com? Oh, he is not able to ping cisco.com. That means name is not getting resolved to IP address. That means this person does not know who the preferred DNS server is. Yes or no? He does not know who the preferred DNS server is. It is not 1 or 3. Henceforth, throughout the course, domain server and DNS will be integrated together. Okay. Close. Okay. Earlier it was not able to resolve this name to an IP address. Now, again, we have not understood the meaning of this. This is the most important part of the course. But let's ask him. Please become a part of cisco.com domain. We can't type 192.168.1.1 here. No. We have to type cisco.com. Okay. Enter. The query will be forwarded to domain cisco.com. And then what happens inside we have to understand. Well, let's do it. Okay. I'm going to do a demo of domain. Okay. He will tell I want to become a part of my domain. Domain goes says, who are you? I am XP100. Okay. If you want to become a part of my domain, you have to use my username and password. That is the wrong password. Okay. So here you have to put the username and password of the domain controller's administrator account. Okay. Fine. Password right. Okay. Okay? Yes. Restart the PC. Let's do the same thing on XP. Yes, 200. Let's start one more XP PC. DNS. I hope I have configured DNS. Yes, I have configured DNS earlier in the class. Okay. DNS is already configured. Okay. Fine. I go here. Right click my computer properties. Computer name change. Domain name to welcome to my domain. So we have added 2 client machines in the domain. Okay. Welcome to my domain. Okay. Now let's see the advantage of a domain. XP, I'm sitting on a domain controller. Putty user has not reported to work for more than 3 days. Account will be centrally disabled. Account has been disabled. Chandru should only, okay, by the way, look here, F5, this one, Chandru should only be able to log in from XP200. Now some of you guys are wondering, how do I remember the steps? Also remember, I am sharing the recording, okay? Don't focus on the steps, focus on the concept. Okay? So what is the properties of Kuti? Account is disabled. What about Chandru? 200 only. Okay? Now, which PC have I opened up? 100. Now what level? Have I run DC promo on this PC? So the SAN database will also be there. But we have to tell him, look for the database in domain store account. Username is, would Kuti be able to log in? Account is disabled. Look at the answer he gives. Your account has been disabled. Chandru. Can Chandru log in from this PC? Why? See the answer given. Your account is going to prevent you from logging from this PC. I am going to XP 200. Again, not SAN database, NTDS audit. Kuti, can he log in? Kuti can log in. Kuti can log in because okay, account has been disabled. Chandru, can he log in? Yeah. You can see anything on there? He is using his third eye. But he is answering. That's more important. Did you understand? Centralized administration. Centrally I did all this. Okay? That's the advantage of a domain system. Do you understand? Now, in the domain, usernames and computers are stored in a file called SAM. NTDS. Okay? You have something called EDB. Okay? Extensible database, EDB. And log files. There are log files also here and checkpoint files. And a temp file. Now they may ask you, in interview they may ask you about this. They will also ask you about JRS file. Now this is not very important. For some crackable interview they may ask you this question. There are crackable interviews. Real crackable. This is not going to test a person's knowledge. Okay? Whenever you create a user in Active Directory, we know it gets saved in NTDS.dit. But this NTDS.dit is also being accessed by 80,000 client machines. In our organization, it's a small organization, there are only 80,000 client machines. So many people are accessing, there's a modification happening. When an administrator is trying to create a user, at the same time, if this is also updated, it could corrupt the database, yes or no? That's the reason. Username and computer are stored in this file. In the beginning. This person knows how busy and how free the NTDS.dit is. As and when he finds that it's convenient, he pushes the user inside this NTDS.dit. Are you understanding? Whenever a user is committed inside this database, this file is renamed as this file. So you will find 1, 2. So as this gets completely full, it gets renamed to this. It is called transaction file. This is a log file. The log file is a transaction file. See, if you don't understand this, you do it. But now, it is there. Whenever you create a user, the user account is stored here. And this updates this file. But this user remains here. This is a 10 MB file. When the 10 MB file gets filled, it gets full, it gets renamed to this, and again an empty CDB file gets created. Empty file is also 10 MB. Getting the point, no? When you guys go out, this room will not shrink, no? It is occupying the space. Similarly, when there is no user account here also, still it will take 10 MB. Are you understanding? Now, so there will be many files like this. As and when you create users, as and when more number of 10 MB gets filled, this number of users will also increase. Number of files will also increase. It will be 1, 2, 3 and so forth. They will also ask you, what is this JRS file? This is reserving 20 MB of hard disk space. 20 MB of your hard disk space. Reserving. You know, whenever a hard disk gets filled up, the computer reacts differently. Some PCs show a blue screen, some PCs would just restart, some PCs would hang, slow down. Getting a point, it acts differently. So, whenever a PC would restart to a blue screen, when active directory NTDS or it is getting updated, at that time the computer froze or restarted. After restarted, so file would corrupt, no? Could get corrupt. That would happen. It could create corruption of NTDS or yes or no. To avoid that, as soon as your hard disk gets full, this JRS informs NTDS, hard disk is getting filled up. Now I will use myself for you. That means 20 MB is free now. PC may restart. Only 20 MB is available right now. Take action and shut yourself down. In services or MSE, this services will stop. NTDS will be free. Are you understanding? It will never corrupt the database. The JRS is used to protect your NTDS from getting corrupted. Are you understanding the real meaning of JRS files? Yes or no? You didn't understand? Rewind. You get. Okay? These are temporary working files. tmp.deb. These are temporary working files used for creating users. Fine. Whatever is stored in the log file is moved there, no? If only username is stored, then where password is stored.
So, it's temporary real-time message.
Of course, that's the thing. As and when the NTDS is free, he will move a copy of a user account from there. It is not converted into the NTDS. Okay. Now, the next part. I am removing these computers from the domain, okay? Okay? Go into XP100 and removing them from the domain also. How to remove a computer from domain? How to remove a computer from domain? Change steps. Properties, change, workgroup, blah blah. But I have got my checkpoint file. I am trying to save time, okay? I have got my checkpoint files. So right now we have a domain controller who has information that there are no times. Okay? I am adding the first XP machine into my domain. Okay? You understand the meaning of this? Dynamic? ये dynamic. कैसे लिखा? How is it known to DNS service? कहाँ पर? Because यहाँ पर DSC भी सर्व होगा. यहाँ पर DSC टॉपिक सर्व नहीं होगा. जब DSC सर्व करेंगे ना उसके बाद ये मैनुअल निकाल देंगे. Okay, so we know that this PC is able to resolve name to IP address, right? Okay.